As Bob Dylan once said, "For the times they are a-changin'." Bungie just flipped the script. After 7 years, they've changed a core fundamental of the game with the variable ability cooldown system. And while sometimes change can be scary, I'm here to put your mind at ease. If you're new to the channel, and I'm willing to bet about 90% of you are, as this is a new channel, then a like, comment, and a sub would be greatly appreciated if you enjoy the content. Okay, let's say this together. It's going to be alright. We are going to get through this. We are going to embrace the change. Because let's be honest with ourselves, what else are we gonna do? Play a different game? Yeah, no. So hold on to your butts, and let's take a look at how these new ability changes affected our previous Ultimate Dad build, and more specifically, Bottom Tree Stormcaller in the Crucible. The main course of the build are those stupendous arc buddies, which of course depend upon our Rift cooldown, and much to my surprise, Bungie did not change the cooldown of our Rifts. At tier 10, our Rift cooldown is still listed as 41 seconds. However, in practice, our Rifts would come back much faster than this because it gets by with a little help from our friends. Our mod, perk, and exotic friends, that is. One of those friends, Electrostatic Surge, you know, the perk in the Bottom Tree Stormcaller subclass that gives us faster Rift recharge while near allies, and also longer Rifts and run speed, but that's not important for this particular discussion. Well anyway, it and all the regen effects like it were reduced in effectiveness in PvP by 50%. Yes, they were nerfed if you prefer those linguistics. In the previous Ultimate Dad build video, I used Ophidian aspects, but I've since switched to the Stag as I'm currently obsessed with Le Monarque. And also on the list of reduced effectiveness is the Stag's Rift energy return from being critically wounded. Tier 10 recovery plus those two perks were the only three things the Ultimate Dad build relied on for a continuous loop of Rifts. The question we're all wondering is, after the ability changes, is it still enough? I'm actually writing this while on a plane a few days before the patch and before I've done any testing. And my gut tells me we're going to need to supplement those two sources, but let's see how the old build does first. I hopped into a few matches of Iron Banner. Still quite rusty after not having played for a week, but I got enough data and my initial worries actually faded away. I hardly noticed much change at all, and I felt like I had my Rift nearly as often as I did before. There were a few times where it was about 5 to 10 seconds slower than I had wanted, so if you're saying to yourself, those are rookie numbers, let's see what options we've got to pump them up. Now, I wish bolstering detonation counted the arc souls as grenade damage, but alas, it doesn't. Distribution sadly doesn't fit the budget thanks to expensive stat and targeting mods, so it's out. I already run Absolution on my boots, which gives back all ability energy including class ability, but as this requires picking up orbs of light, it's not too consistent to be relied upon. Our saving grace could be the class ability kickstart mod that we can toss on our bond. This means our bond needs to be stasis, and unfortunately this is where I previously slotted powerful friends, which is an arc mod. And there isn't room anywhere else in the build to move it, as again, the helmet's point budget is eaten up by expensive targeting mods. Our gloves, chest, and boots house our charge with light mods. Now if you don't run Charge Harvester, then you do have an extra slot, so you've got that going for you. However, since I do run Charge Harvester, I don't have that option, and charging my allies with light and the bonus strafe speed from the 20 mobility would be sorely missed. We could make up the mobility by dropping points in discipline, which isn't too essential to our build, and our grenades didn't see too big of an increase, so it really wouldn't change much. So if you can swap in some armor with different stat distribution, that could be an option. It's really up to you whether you feel you want to add class ability kickstart. At this time, I don't feel I need it because between the Stag, Electrostatic Surge, and Absolution, it really does the trick, and I don't feel like giving up powerful friends is worth the trade-off. But further testing down the road may change my mind. The other major ability change was to our supers, and this is one I did feel. Storm Trance was placed into the 5th tier of super cooldowns, so just one below the longest. And after the change at tier 8 intellect, it now has a 7 minute and 24 second cooldown. up over 3 minutes from 4 minutes and 14 seconds previously. But supers are a bit less reliant on intellect, because you now get super energy from both taking and dealing damage, with primary weapons returning the most energy, and exotic primaries returning yet even more. I definitely felt this. Previously, I would get at least 2 to 3 supers per match, and now I'm getting just barely 2. But I tend to play fairly passive, preserving my life. So if you're a very aggressive player, constantly taking and dealing damage, you should easily get 2 supers. So you see, I told you there was nothing to worry about. I figured I would be knee-deep performing rigorous testing of the new cooldowns, mods, and stats, but the ultimate dad build survived nearly unscathed. The only thing you may want to add for extra comfort is a class ability kickstart mod, and that'll give us 4 sources of rift energy to always have an arc buddy at our side. With all these changes, Bungie is just making build crafting that much more impactful. They really want you to go all in on your specific playstyle. But a line has been drawn between those of us that choose to go all in on our builds and playstyles versus those who don't, and continue to skirt by, oblivious to the potential power they leave on the table. If you're here, then you're part of the former group, then this is great news for you and I. But for the latter group of players, the gap has widened a bit, and I just hope this doesn't discourage new players from sticking around. Only time will tell. I, for one, am excited for this new direction. I believe it's healthier for the game, and as we approach the 8th year of the franchise, I hope Bungie keeps pushing the envelope. Next up, I'm going to dive into the PvE side of things, and specifically addressing top and middle tree Voidwalker, the changes to Controverse Hold and the 20% longer cooldown on Vortex grenades, bottom tree Dawnblade and its improved consistency for chaining explosions, and Stasis. I'm curious how Bleakwatcher will fare with 30% increase to Glacier grenade cooldowns. Thank you for joining me on this journey. If you found this video informative, entertaining, or some other pronoun, then please like, comment, and subscribe. I really do appreciate it. Until next time, Guardians, I bid you adieu.